schedule. It's early for me. Um, but there's a couple things that I want to address now. Number one, for whatever reason, y'all probably see me live more often than not now. For whatever reason, um, YouTube doesn't want to upload videos. For whatever reason, they just don't want to upload videos. So, again, more than likely now, um, I'll be live more than I will just post videos, which is fine. Either way, it's going to get out. Now, couple things also I want to talk about. Two different videos. Um, Now, first one, this is the video I was trying to do for the longest, and for whatever reason, again, YouTube would not let me upload that video. Again, I made a post on it, so I'm going to talk about that real fast. Now, the video I was trying to upload had a lot of truth in it. Now, Biden said he's not supposed to be answering all these questions when pressed by reporters. So, he responded to a number of questions about the Colonial Pipeline, the shutdown. If any of y'all didn't hear, they were hackers that hacked into it were paid a $5 million ransom, which nobody believed, but it's confirmed that they were paid $5 million ransom to get it back at working. Alright, so he also answered some questions about the unrest going on in Israel and Gaza. Now, one reporter asked Biden how his infrastructure meeting with the bipartisan lawmakers had gone. Joe Biden responded back, "You guys are bad. I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions. I'm supposed to leave," the president responded. He added that he come away encouraged at the meeting with House, Senate, and Republican leaders Kevin McCarthy. Now, the rest of it's just talking about what he's done, supposedly what's good for the country. Now, as a president of the United States, all right, you pretty much have free range on what you can and can't say. All right, when Trump was in office, nobody was going to tell Trump what he could and could not say. All right, I mean, if he wants to take questions, he's going to take questions. If he doesn't want to take any questions, he's not going to take them. All right, Trump was pretty straightforward. If you had a question, he's going to answer it. If he didn't want to answer it, he's not going to answer it. But 9 times out of 10, he's going to answer it. And if he didn't answer it, Mike Pence would answer it. If Mike Pence didn't answer it, Kayleigh McEnany would answer it. And they were always on point. They knew exactly what they were talking about, knew exactly what was going on. Alright, Jen Psaki, or however you say her last name, she has to search through 20 different pages, and then all after that, she'll be like, "Oh, well, I'll just get back to you." But as the White House press secretary, you should have that ready to go before you even get out there. Kayleigh McEnany, she didn't have to circle through 100 different pages, say, "I have to get back to you." She knew exactly where she was going, and the reporters didn't like her because she would call them out and tell them to come back with better questions. That's how you should be as White House press secretary. You should have your back. Your job is to back the president up, and she's not doing that. But again, Joe Biden's not even backing himself up. He's being told what to do, and he's failing miserably at that. Alright, so, that's the video I was trying to do. Again, y'all will see me a lot more live than less, more than likely now. Alright, so, on to the next video I want to talk about. Alright, so, as most of y'all know, Police Week was going on. Now, Joe Biden said some positive things about police, but he ruined it. Alright, so, let's see here. Alright, he starts with, "Every morning our nation's law enforcement pins on a badge and go to work, not knowing what the day will bring and hoping to come home safely." President says before knowing the impact of COVID-19 on men and women blue. So again, that right there is a fine statement. I have no problem with that as him saying that. Again, he always goes COVID-19 because COVID-19 is Joe Biden's thing. Like, that's his thing is COVID-19. Yeah, Lee, I saw that they had like 18 lawyers down there in Arizona to try and stop what was going on, which is crazy because if you have nothing to hide, then you don't need 18 lawyers down there to stop what you're doing. Just let it go. But again, we all know that what they're doing is wrong and what they did was wrong. That's why they sent 18 lawyers down there. Um, but again, Joe Biden goes to COVID-19 for everything. Every little thing is COVID-19. That was his whole campaign, was COVID-19. All right. He goes on to say, as we recognize Peace Officers Memorial Day and Police Week, we honor those who lost their lives in line of duty and thank them on behalf of this grateful nation for their service, he says. Which is fine, alright? Again, I don't have a problem with that either. Alright? But after promising to support law enforcement and work to ensure that they have the resources and research tools they need to do their job successfully, and the funding necessary to enhance officers' safety and wellness, statement begins talking about the alleged harm caused to minority communities by police. That's where he blew it, alright? That shouldn't even been brought up, alright? And I'll tell you why it shouldn't have been brought up, alright? Number one, and this is probably going to hurt some people's feelings, and I really could care less, alright? But, number one, police officer week, alright? That is their week to, be recognized and be honored. That's their week, okay? It's not about any other people. It's about police officer week. That's really what it's called. It is their week to be honored for what they do and for the sacrifices they make. All right. It's not about firefighters, EMS, military. It's about police officers and what they do, and they're supposed to be honored. All right. It's not about racial. It's not about white people, black people. But even if you want to get down to that, black people, they have a whole month. They have a whole Black History Month. It's in February. And people even told me, oh, well, of course they picked the shortest month for it to be in. Okay. Y'all have a whole month, 28 days of Black history and Black celebrations or whatever case may be, alright? So, police officers getting a week, Joe Biden really kind of blew it there with me. Alright, so going on to what he said. This year, we also recognize that in many of our communities, especially black and brown communities, there is a deep sense of distrust towards law enforcement. A distrust that has been exaggerated by the recent deaths of several black and brown people at the hands of law enforcement, he says. Alright, so let's talk about these people that were killed by the hands of law enforcement, alright? Andrew Brown. Now, everybody's talking about Andrew Brown, and only people who have seen the body camera footage is the family. And they haven't even seen the whole thing. There are people out there getting arrested and getting records, and they don't even know the outcome or what even happened. But they're out there rioting in the streets. And again, that's why I haven't even really talked about Andrew Brown, because I don't know what's going on. Now, if I seen the body camera footage and the officer was wrong, I would talk about it. If I saw the body camera footage and the officer was right, I would talk about it. But I haven't seen the body camera footage, and until I do, I'm not going to talk about it. That's how everybody should be. Ma'Khia Bryant. Alright, I still don't know why people are mad about that. The officer saved a black life, but y'all are mad that he had to kill a black girl to save another black girl. Like, if the officer wouldn't have killed her, alright, the other girl would have been stabbed to death, and they were like, oh my god, they let the officer let her kill an innocent black teen. Alright, but the officer decides, hey, I need to protect her, and he shoots her, and unfortunately she dies, and now everybody's up in their feelings because the officer did what he needed to do to save a life. His job is to protect and serve. Alright, so going on. This year, we also recognize that in many of our communities, especially, hold on. Biden has pushed for police reform in the wake of the death of George Floyd. Again, even George Floyd, alright, he was going to die. With the amount of drugs he had in his system, he was not going to live anyways. Alright, again, I've said this many times. If people can touch fentanyl, breathe it in, and die. This man ingested fentanyl, ingested meth, had COVID-19, had heart conditions, had lung conditions from COVID-19, had the exhaust pipe right there. I seriously doubt the knee on the neck killed him. Alright, that's the least likely thing in this scenario that probably killed him. Alright, so this is really the thing that really did it for Joe Biden. These deaths have resulted in a profound fear, trauma, and pain and exhaustion for many black and brown Americans. Again, that right there is a horrible start. Alright, and the resulting breakdown in trust between law enforcement and the communities they have sworn to protect and serve ultimately makes officers' job harder and more dangerous as well. Brian wrote, in order to rebuild the trust, our state, local, and federal government and law enforcement agencies must protect constitutional rights, ensure accountability for misconduct, and embrace policing that reflects community values and ensures community safety. These approaches benefit those who wear the badge and those who count on their protection. Alright, and again, I really don't have a problem with anything he said other than the fact that he made it a racial thing. I mean, he really made it a racial thing. He could have just left it at, thank police officers for what they do, going about your day. You did not have to go into this whole memoir about how you feel about police and all that. Nobody asked you how you felt about the police. Alright, you would have just been better off without saying anything, honestly. And as far as profound fear, trauma, and pain and exhaustion, there are plenty of black people who support police officers. There are plenty of black police officers out there. I mean, it's all about how you act and how you treat police. If you go up in there with an attitude, you're probably going to get an attitude back. Alright, just like the Officer Corbin, who was suspended, but he got his job back and got gifted $75,000 because the guy was a smartass, so he was one back. I mean, when you go up there and you cops, are y'all going to kill me like Ma'Khia Bryant? The cop responds back, are you going to stab somebody like her? I see no problem with that. Don't be a smartass and you won't get a comment back like that. Alright, as far as trauma and pain and fear, again, that all goes into on how you act. If you treat them cordially, they will treat you cordially. If you fight them, they are going to do what they need to do to go home safely to their families at the end of the night. If you pull a gun on them, you will get shot. If you pull a knife on them, you will more than likely get shot. I mean, that's just how it is. It's not a racial thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, racist police are racist. Like, no. Y'all just don't have your facts together. And matter of fact, there was a lady tonight. She did a video about Officer Nate Sylvester, who was the officer who did the video talking about LeBron James. He called him, fake called him, and it was like, someone got stabbed, how should I handle it? And she's talking about, the officer's racist, that I can't believe any people would support him. Again, the officer's not wrong, alright? It's called freedom of speech. If you are offended by that, then I don't know what to tell you. Alright, people are offended by everything now. So if that offends you, then, you might just want to stay off the internet, because you will get offended multiple times over and over and over again with that kind of attitude, if that's how you feel. But again, I just want to cover these stories with y'all. Again, YouTube is apparently after me again, so more than likely, y'all will see me live more than just regular videos, which either way is fine as long as I get the information out. But as always, thank y'all for watching. Again, y'all guys' support is amazing. When I first started YouTube, I never thought I'd get this far. But again, thank you for all you guys' support. It means a lot. As always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next.